If you're trying to put out more content but you don't want to get burned out, I have a solution for you. I'm somebody who creates a high volume of content, and I put out a lot of Instagram Reels and a lot of TikToks every single day on multiple platforms without getting burned out and without overextending myself by doing everything under the sun to get different unique content. The biggest mindset shift that I need you to make is to realize that as you're filming this one event, you don't just have to use it in one way. You can film it and then use it in 5, 10, 15 different ways. So in this video, I'm going to break down how I did a photo shoot this week, and I'm using it in 5 different ways on Instagram Reels and TikToks. And it's not just about the photos that I took, it's about actually doing the photo shoot. But this could relate to anything that you're doing. Making candles, going on a vacation. You can take your trip to the pool and use it in different ways. So let's break this down. Now, the first way is the most obvious, and it's the way that we set out to film this video. So this is our intended video, the purpose that we're filming this event. For you, it could be creating those candles or going to that bakery or going on that trip or doing that thing inside of your business. For me, it was a photo shoot. So I showed a behind the scenes of doing that photo shoot and walking through the blossoms and walking with the sun behind me and all of the pretty things where I was showing off my outfit and taking photos. That was my main purpose in my staple video. So whatever your staple video is, probably some kind of behind the scenes and come along with me as we go to do this thing, that will be the first and main video that you put out. But now we've got content. Now, before we jump into the second one, I want to remind you, as you are filming these different events in your life, you're going to be filming them in different clips. So you're not just setting up your camera and letting it roll and just letting it go in most cases. Whatever you're doing, whether it's typing on your computer to write your book, or it is going to be walking out to your car to go on a drive to a photo shoot, you're going to be filming from different angles. So you want to make sure whatever you're doing, you're filming from different angles and you're getting that B-roll. So you're going to be looking at the camera sometimes you're not going to be looking at the camera. If you are doing something like writing a book, or you're making a PDF, or you're typing in your website and you're going to be filming that, I want you to film it from different areas, different ways of doing this, different angles, close-ups of your hands, further away of you typing, from different angles behind the computer or in front of the computer or over your shoulder. So you're getting B-roll and you're getting different angles for this so you can tell that story. And that goes back to the first video that we're doing, because if you're taking people on a journey, it's not just one staple thing. So you're going to have a lot of different variation in this so that you have options later on. And this then parlays into B-roll for later on and brings us to our second idea. This is one of the easiest ones to do because you just have to use a small clip from something that you've already filmed and then put text over it. So this is not going to be very long. We're looking for a clip about 5 to 7 seconds long. This should not be a big thing unless you're using a lot of text, and you're going to then put text over it. So you're just going to use a B-roll clip, whatever it happens to be. You are going to put it to music, and then you're going to write something effective on that text. Now remember, with text overlays, there's lots of different ways you can do this, and we've talked about that in other videos, so make sure you hit that subscribe and notification bell and go through those videos if you want different ideas. You can do a layered text effect where you're putting one clip and then another clip and then another clip so they have to stay the entire time. You could put a longer piece of text, and sometimes people will stop to watch that. They'll also maybe pause it to read it, but keep in mind we're kind of past the phase of long chunks of text now. So you're going to want to put something a little bit more motivational, a little more informational. So think of something really, really good that you could share related to that thing or not related to that thing. It doesn't even have to be connected to what you're doing. You can literally just use it as interesting B-roll behind the conversation you're having. So think of the conversation you want, and you're going to use those text overlays, again, in a larger group or layered so that they are popping up as you go, so people have to stay a little bit longer to see the entire thing, but keep it short. Remember, we're 5 to 7 seconds of footage, so this shouldn't be a really big thing. It will probably get you some pretty decent watch time because it's shorter, and they're going to have to maybe watch it again to get the full text. And if you make it really information-packed or really valuable to them or really encouraging to them, they're much more likely to stick around and read that. So text overlays on your B-roll clips is going to be highly advantageous to you. Now, keep in mind, this is under the umbrella of idea number 2, but if you filmed clips, even if you just have like 3 different clips in telling this story, you can use that for 3 different text overlays. So film extra. Always overshoot when you're doing this, because even if you don't use it in your initial first video where you're telling that story, you now have bonus clips that you can be using with these text overlays. So this can be one video, it could be 3 videos, it could be 7 videos, and it doesn't all have to be today. It could be today, it could be one tomorrow, it could be another one the following week, it could be one a month from now. These are things with B-roll footage and text overlays that you can do later on as well. So it doesn't all look like your feed is just the exact same thing for big chunks of your feed. So space them out, use them as you need to, and hey, this works really well in Instagram stories as well. So you can put your main video in your Instagram feed, then put one of these clips in your stories, but save it. Save it with the text on it, but save it without the music. And then a week from now, or a month from now, pull it out. You already have the text done and you can just pop it on your TikTok or your Instagram Reels for a brand new look. So you can use this in multiple ways and multiple iterations and then keep repurposing it in the future. The third option is another really interesting one because people love day in the life content. So even though you have a staple thing that you're showing off and you showed that off in your first video, I want you to create day in the life. So let's say you are going on a photo shoot like I did. What you can do is show how you got to that place. So come with me on a day in my life photo shoot edition, and you're going to show yourself getting ready. So hair, makeup, brushing your teeth, getting your breakfast ready, having your coffee, something before you get in the car to go to the photo shoot, walking to the car, getting in the car, maybe driving in the car, going to the photo shoot location, and then actually taking those photos. It's a day in the life. It's like a slice of life content where you're showing how you got to that point and also the things that you did. So you're showing off that photo shoot again, but you're showing the progression of how you got there or how you started that to get there. And it doesn't have to be first thing in the morning. Let's say you're going out to a really nice restaurant in the evening, maybe start in the afternoon as you are getting ready. So you're finishing your work and then you're getting ready to go and then you go to the nice restaurant. You just have to think, what was the progression? What led up to this thing? Now you're going to show off the thing again. And this then directs those eyes back toward the thing that you're doing, especially if it connects back to your business. So you're creating something in your business, or you're doing something for a client, or you're going on, some type of service-based thing like a photo shoot where you're doing things for your audience. You're going to bring them through the progression of that day in the life. So day in the life content is really, really good. And pro tip here, you don't necessarily have to track yourself doing it. If you did something really cool and you want to do day in the life, recreate the other things. I couldn't recreate the photo shoot, but I can get ready for my day several days after the fact and nobody knows that it wasn't the same day. So you're just telling that story and you just have to make sure you're tracking some type of progression, steps 1, steps 2, step 3, step 4, till you get to that main thing, and you're just showing tiny little very short clips to get to that point, usually set to music, and it's a behind the scenes look at your day. Once you have that done, you're going to be showing off photos from whatever it is you did, whether it was a photo shoot or something else. And even if you didn't take photos, I'm going to show you a little trick on how to do this. We're going to get there in just a second, and this is a really good way to show off that imagery. Now, if you did photos, if you did actual photos, please by all means be posting an album or be posting those photos on your Instagram, but we also want to put this in Reels form and in TikTok form because we know that Instagram is heavily leaning into Reels. Reels is where it's at, and TikTok obviously has videos, and if you're going to be showing off those photos, you need to make sure you're doing it in the correct way. So when we're creating this, what I want you to do is just a little video clip, pick one of those B-rolls, pick one of those like really good clips that gets people's attention, that really is going to grab their eye, and say photos from whatever it is. And then you're going to pick a very fast-paced song where the beat changes very, very quickly, and you're going to be able to sync your photos to it, and then just show off a bunch of photos in a short period of time. This does not have to be long. It can be 5 seconds, it can be 10 seconds, it can be 15 seconds. You don't want to go over that with photos because people will start to get bored, even if it's fast moving, but you want to be able to show off that photo or those imagery pieces that you have created while you did whatever it was. Now, let me back up. Because I said, even if you didn't take photos, you can still do this, and this is where my pro tip comes in. Here we go. As you are doing whatever it is that you're doing, you are filming. You're probably filming on your phone, but you might be filming on your camera, and either way, this works. What I want you to do is pull up your footage. It can be on your phone, it can be on your computer. You're gonna start that footage, whatever it is, you're gonna start playing it, and then you're gonna hit the pause button. Now you have the ability to drag your footage left and right, and you're going to be able to see different screens within that footage. All of a sudden, we have a bunch of little stills. Now you can either take a screenshot on your phone or you can do a screenshot on your computer, and you have images. Now, at that point, I don't recommend just leaving them the way that they are. If you edit your photos in any way, treat this like a photo. Screenshots can act like photos, especially if you're not going to be blowing them up and putting them on the walls. If they're just going to be on a little device, it's not really going to matter all that much. So now you're going to want to increase your contrast, play with your exposure. You know the drill with this. We've talked about this before on the channel. We've got lots of videos on how to edit your photos and how to edit your videos directly inside of your phone or on your computer. And you're going to just level these up just a little bit, and all of a sudden, you now have photos that are exactly the same as your footage. It's a way to kind of cheat the system. And this is a way that I recommend if you are out and about and you need photos of something, but also you don't have anybody to help you, just hit the video button on your phone and then screenshot it later. Because then you can move it however you need to and you don't have to keep running back and forth with a timer or a remote shutter release. So at that point, we are now using stills from your video as photos and creating this video. So remember, you're going to put a video clip at the beginning because it doesn't matter what it is. If people see still images, they kind of scroll away. So you need something with movement first, and then you're going to show very quickly a succession of photos to show what you were doing. And you can put text to this. You don't have to put explanation. You could do a voiceover if you want, but honestly, I would just do photos from making candles, photos from baking cupcakes, photos from whatever it happens to be, and you're just gonna show off those still images if you didn't take those photos, and now you're good to go with this one. I have one more that I really like that's very easy for you to do, and you can use it in multiple iterations in the future, but I wanna remind you, there are so many ways that you can be spinning off the content that you're creating. Because you're doing one thing and you're documenting that one thing, it doesn't mean that you're limited in what you can do with it. The more documentation you use or you implement, the more you can use iterations of it now, a week from now, and in the future. So whatever you're doing, whatever you're creating, just be mindful that you want to document it as fleshed out as possible. Get as much documentation as you can so that you can use it in different ways in the future. These are 5 examples, but I use my content in so many ways right now and in the future, and you can do it. If you want more ideas, hit the subscribe and notification bell because I keep dropping a lot of videos on content ideas to save you time and effort. So if you want help with your content, this is the place to be. You also want to hit up IG Reels for Business, where I literally tell you what to do, and Livestream Action Plan, where I literally tell you what to do to take all of the time and effort out of your content creation so you can get back to running your business. Now let's jump in with this 5th one. This is one I very much like, and it's all about transitions, because we know that transitions are incredibly eye-catching on social media. So you can pick one transition, it doesn't even matter what it is, something very simple, and you are going to do it toward the camera while you're on location, and then you can do it in your office or in your studio or outside or somewhere else and transition from a location into the fun location. So I was at a photo shoot, and when I was at this photo shoot, I would blow a kiss at the camera, or I could swipe my hand over the camera, or I could do some kind of pinching effect. There's so many different types of transitions. I would just need to pick one, and we have lots of transition videos here on the channel, so make sure you check those out as well. And then I would have to complete that somewhere else. So I could be in my car and complete that kiss, and I would start my video in the car, and then I would show myself with the beautiful blossoms around me. Or maybe I would start in my studio here and I would complete that. I would do the beginning part of it, and then I would show up in this beautiful cherry blossom land. Now the nice thing is, because you're doing the completed movements both in the first location and in the fun location, you now have footage you can use in multiple ways. So my intent with this is to start somewhere less interesting and go somewhere beautiful and pink and full of cherry blossoms. But maybe a couple of weeks from now, the world is going to shift a little bit. The flowers are no longer going to be there, and we're going to have some other really cool location. So I could use the second half of that footage, or the first half of that footage, where I'm starting the kiss, and go from the beautiful pink cherry blossoms to a waterfall, or to a picnic, or to somewhere else. So you can use both sides of this because you're doing completed movements. So let's say I'm filming it right here and I'm gonna blow that kiss. I can start here and I can end up with the cherry blossoms. I could also reverse that in the future and have myself in the cherry blossoms and then complete that kiss here, and I'm back in my studio ready to work again. Make sure that you're doing completed movements on both ends, thinking while you're creating this that you are gonna be using both the first half and the second half. Sometimes people go into these things and they're like, it doesn't matter because nobody's gonna see the first half of this, just the second half, or nobody's gonna see the second half, so it doesn't have to be interesting. So if you are smart about this, you can stand in front of your camera and you can kind of move around a little bit like, here I am, I'm ready to go, and you can do the beginning of whatever it is you're creating, but then you're gonna follow through, because then you can use that second half. So if I were to do this, I would blow that kiss and I would have it really good in the beginning part of it, because this is the start of my footage here. And so then I would blow the kiss, and then maybe because I'm done with that, I would pick up a computer and I'd walk over to my desk and I'd finish what I was doing. So you're gonna have information on both ends of this, let's call it, so that you can be using both of these things now and later in the future. So whether you're doing something fun or something business oriented, you have the ability to spin your content off in multiple ways. And like I said, I'm dropping lots of ideas for you here on the channel, so hit that subscribe and notification bell. And if you've got questions on this, or if you have specific ideas you want me to figure out and really work and build a plan for you out of, please let me know, because I'll be creating content for you. Hit the subscribe and notification bell. Daily videos are dropped, and our weekly live streams where I'm answering your questions in real time. I'll see you there.